Hey, g'day everybody, it's Matt here. Hope everyone is going well. I'm doing a bit of just a quick live today. I'm going to carve this here and carved this one the other day, which I quite like. I might do it sort of similar to that one. I wonder if I have got any volume on this. Try and see. Right, okay. So I'm just like checking everything on my other phone to see if I've got volume. Okay, so just bear with me. I am trying to figure this out. Right. Okay. Just going to start up my own live on the other channel. Oh, g'day Jim, how you going? And Laurie, Arizona, nice. Okay, so sounds like I have got. Oh, sorry for that feedback. Okay, so and Henry Scroll Saw Work 69. Oh, g'day Henry. What kind of scroll saw have you got? I got a scroll saw. I don't do a lot of scroll saw work, but I do a little bit. Good for really small things, I find. So I made this one out of, where was it? I had it around here somewhere, but this is made out of radiata pine. I've never heard of that, Henry. It's called a Carbotech, but I think it is the Excalibur, as it's sold in America. It's quite an expensive one. It's got a really long throat on it, really nice. So, oh, g'day John, how you going? Over in Oz, must be about, what is the time here? 11, I'd say it's about, I don't know, 7 o'clock or something, 7:15, isn't it there in the morning? So what I'm going to do today is I'm just going to sort of like show you sort of like how to start off a wood spirit in a square bit of wood. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to work out the size, a good size of wood to practice on when you're doing wood spirits, because I think like this one was too small. This is an inch, or what's an inch in millimeters? About 25 millimeters or an inch, and I've taken this one up to an inch and a half, which is about 38 millimeters, around about there. So I am going to try and do sort of something in this, and I want to try and sort of like say, when people ask me what should I practice on, I sort of think if you get a whole lot of blocks and just keep on practicing on these blocks until you get things right. Because I find if you do really big wood spirits, they take a long time. And so it's sort of, yeah, it's good to sort of, I'm trying to read the comments at the same time as well as talk. My little brain doesn't really handle that well. I just saw Henry's scroll saw. Oh yeah, so it's sort of similar to the Excalibur. Hi Amy Jo, how you going? So I'm just going to sort of like carve this today and see how this goes as a good size to practice on. And we all need practice. I practice a lot. This is what this was. I found like this is radiata pine, which you can buy in the hardware store. You know, I honestly wouldn't recommend carving in this. It's quite horrible wood to carve in. You can sort of see the grain is very wide. Although the grain on this is very wide, but it seems a little bit easier to carve in. So this is Macrocarpa. These are both very soft woods, and like if you're in America, you'd probably maybe have access to basswood, which I've never carved before, but some people like carving it over there. I'm not sure what it's like, the Dremel. Some people find it a little bit furry. The pine I have is very chippy, John. Yeah, like pine is such a big sort of like family. It's sort of like they're all kind of different. Some pines are really nice. You just got to sort of like try them, you know. If you can get free wood, I sort of like will carve anything and see if I can sort of like overcome how bad the wood is sometimes, just to see if I can do it. So, but what I found with this is it's sort of like, I don't know, it was hard to get a consistent kind of movement on it. So anyway, that's what I was kind of doing with that one. Trying to, but it's, yeah, it's really small. You can see my like thumb next to it. And it's never really like, when you first start carving wood spirits, you kind of want a size that is small enough to do fast carvings, but not too small that the details become hard. Yeah. Okay, John, yours is radiata. Yeah, it's very common, radiata pine. I think it's from California originally. But we, you know, it's sold in, for John, it's sold in like places like Bunnings and all of that as just square bits of wood like this. So anyway, I'm going to start this, and I will keep an eye on the comments and go back and check that out. But I was probably going to mute the Dremel and just put some music on or something. So, but I'll stop occasionally and look at the comments. But yeah, I guess chat among yourselves. So I'll just get set up here. You want to get a pair of chip carving knives? Yeah, that sounds pretty cool. I think like I watch Alec Lacasse, and I really like his style of carving, especially like the smaller ones like this. You see, I've kind of made this a little bit like a knife carving. You sort of like the flat planes on there a little bit. I think they kind of look pretty cool, those flat planes. But I find with a Dremel, you tend to sort of like smooth things out. I really like looking at beards and mustaches from people who use hand tools, because I find their way of carving those a lot more kind of interesting than, well, not interesting, but it's kind of like different from the way a Dremel carver will carve them. And I'll show you this first of all. So I've been working on that. That is that. What? I was just reading your comment. Amy Jo, what type of bit would you use for carving pages on a block of wood? I'm doing a large book and have broke 2-bit pages. Do you mean like the sides of pages? Trying to think what you kind of mean. Do you mean sort of like when you're carving a book? Do you mean sort of like that kind of look on the side of the book itself? Yeah, so that's that dragon. You will see. Look and check this out. It was always going to be a little bit of a hassle with these, because this is an armchair thing, and you've got like the dowel things where the chair sits on there, and that's the man at the end. But you can just see there's a hole there, and that's that bit there, so just in there. And so it was getting pretty close to actually going through there, and I just did a little bit, but I might just fill that and see what happens there. Okay, Amy Jo, yes, like that. Okay, I will get back to you. So, and then I was going to put this pattern on, in the middle. So it's got like these two main figures as each end, and this pattern in the middle, which is going to be quite complicated, and you sort of got like a bit of a Viking kind of guy fighting a sort of like a twisting kind of dragon. It's quite hard to come up with a design. I kind of like grabbed a whole lot of different ones and put them into one. We'll see how that turns out. But you can sort of see the wood here. It's really, really horrible. Kind of looks really old. It's been sitting outside. But as soon as you get under that, really nice wood, really nice to carve. And that is mahogany. Beautiful wood to carve. With a beautiful colour as well. Okay, so Amy Jo, so a book. Like, okay, so let's have a look at this. How could you carve a book, those pages? There's several ways you could do it, I guess. Oh, thanks, Laurie. Yeah, it is a cool project. So it's going in an art exhibition in the middle of September, I think. And hopefully it will look amazing. I'm going to put I've been experimenting with the darker dyes, or darker wood waxes. So that's one that I did as a video, and I put a lighter dye, wood wax on it, and then I went for a full black one. Quite like the look of that, because it's sort of like, it's not great lighting in here, but it looks a little bit more aged and medieval. So that's mahogany as well. Okay, so you could, I'm going to show you several ways you could do sort of like pages. Well, you know, it's all experimentation, so I would just sort of like experiment with how I do it. I think I've seen somebody carve books with knives before, but okay, so I'm just going to put on the Dremel and I will just try a few different things out for getting pages. Okay, I'll just mute this mic. Okay, so is that something you kind of like thinking of, sort of like that kind of those lines that go around, Amy Jo? Oh, no problem, Linda. I didn't say that I was going to go on live anyway. So that bear there, that's off Amazon, and when I put the description in this video, I can put a link to those ones. But another good, if you get, like, these are quite cheap. They're like, I think there's about 13 in a pack, and they're about $8, I think. And they're diamond bears, and they're quite narrow. So you could even go narrower than that because they go smaller. But when they go smaller this way, they also go smaller the sort of like the thickness of the actual burr as well. Okay, so I'm going to get on and carve this wood spirit. So when I first start, I'll like mark on where I kind of think things are going to go. So where did the other one go? So if we're going to kind of repeat this, I kind of want to do a halfway kind of point. So that's kind of halfway, yeah, about there. So the bottom of the nose is kind of halfway, about there, and maybe a bit lower to top of the nose like that. Forehead, and then hat. We probably won't get all the way through this today. I don't really want to stay on for too long, but okay, so I am going to attempt to do that today. So just watch sort of like how I sort of put the nose in first, and then the eyes and all of that. Okay. So kind of start off with, just because this is quite a soft wood, I'll start off with a, yeah, that's cool, Amy Jo. Got to cook dinner, got to eat, you know. And this other one, I might put another burr. So I run sort of 2 Dremels at once. Sometimes get stuck in here. Just give it a whack. Sorry for the noise. There we go. Right. And I put the, so these are my 2, well, a couple of my favourite burrs, as you probably know. Keep on making videos about them. Put it over there. Taking my mask off. Okay, so what do we got going on here? Okay. Renee. That's how you say your name. Yeah, 1:30 in the morning there. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, that's way beyond my bedtime as well. What is the time here? It is 11:30 in the morning. It's a bit more respectable here, but hey, thanks for watching a little bit anyway. And John, no, I haven't heard from Ben. He has been very quiet lately. Yeah, I hope he is all right. You know, I'm sure he'll get the challenge done sometime. Yeah. And oh, g'day, Mark. How you going? And Jim's on here still. That's awesome. So what I've been doing here is I have just been sort of blocking out this wood spirit, and you can sort of see. It's a shame I can't sort of like talk while I'm doing things, but it's just so annoying, the noise of the Dremel. So what I did, you sort of saw me go in like that, and I put in where that sort of like the nose goes in so far at the top. Then I'll kind of figure out the length of the nose, and I kind of like, with wood spirits, you can get away with quite a lot. You don't want to put it too long because then the eyes are going to get out too far on a small piece of wood like this. So I just made them, what is that? I was going to, it's always quite good to do sort of like little measurements, even though they don't mean much. Okay, so the length of the nose almost comes, goes a little bit further than the width of the eye. There you go. And then I sort of like got this. Polyurethane's good, but it stinks. Like, it's horrible stuff to put on. But yeah, it's really nice. I put on a lot on jewelry stuff. Okay, so then I was doing the nose, and you could sort of see me, I was doing this on each side. And what I do there is I'm sort of like taking the sides down, and then I will take out that part which is left and leave this part which are the nasal flares, or whatever you call them, nostrils. And you kind of want to take make it kind of flat on the top, on the tip. Don't have it pointed like that. And sometimes I see a lot of carvers and they go quite sort of angled up like that. Oh, hey Chris, how you going? And I sort of tend to sort of like leave it a little bit, and then I will sort of like, you could sort of see me putting in the eyes as well. I'll go down like this, and I'll tend to leave those for a little bit to see what kind of develops with the cheeks. And with the mustache, then I'll sort of go from the end of the nasal part and sort of down like this on this one. So you can sort of see it on this one here that I've already done. So it's sort of like where that nasal part finishes, it sort of goes down like that. And so then you can sort of put in this sort of part here. You know, this is only for doing this kind of wood spirit. So probably you'll see me in the next steps. I'll put in this part, and then you can sort of see the cheeks develop, and they really make a wood spirit. So here it's kind of flat down like this, but you kind of sometimes have to go quite deep here, and sort of where the eye is, go quite flat back like that. You want to leave some if you're going to put some hair in. Oh, put it on camera. And then you sort of come in at that part to form that cheek, if that makes sense. You can sort of see the shape of it. And if it's not forming, sort of take this back a little bit more, and this will sort of make it stick out a little bit more like that. Right, I'll carry on carving. I hope that will make sense. And thank you all for watching. Right, I'll carry on. Okay. Just remove the old mask. So you can see me there. I was just making the cat there. It's going to look a little bit different from this one. It's all good. There wasn't enough kind of thickness here. I kind of think the guy is too wide, but I might narrow him up a little bit later on. Probably not going to do too much more on this today, but I've just sort of like showing you how it was sort of got all these main parts in. It's been happening on the chat. Got to watch out for this. So you saw me put this glove on. You know, there are birds that I'm really afraid of, and this is one of them. It has this is a Dremel one that goes on that what is it called, the easy lock system, and it sort of goes on there and turns around and locks in place. Got this one as well, that's for metal. I sort of use that a little bit. This one's really good for taking like big chunks off like that, but it is extremely aggressive. Yeah, I think, Laurie, sort of these small projects are just really fun to do. You know, you saw me whip this up. You know, I've been talking as well, so you could sort of like do this a lot faster. Essentially, what happens is you get sort of like to this stage, and then you start sort of refining things and sort of bringing things down. You sort of decide where the hair is going to be, how the eyes are going to be. This peak is kind of interesting. I think this hat will need to go in a little bit further, and the forehead, like this one, you can sort of see the forehead on this one. It sort of goes in like this, which probably isn't too natural, but you know, it kind of tends to work anyway. The wood sprits you can get away with a lot with proportions and all. So I'll probably do that, but I think I might leave it for today. Oh, hey John, that's awesome. Thank you for that. And oh yeah, the monthly coffees, that's awesome. It is great to get financial support as well. I do spend a lot of time on making these videos, and it's awesome when people recognise that, and I understand that not everyone has got money to spare, but I just, and that's all good as well. So as long as you all hit that like button, that's all cool. But hey, John, thank you very much. Much appreciated. And so, yeah, so we're getting along with this one, and what other questions have we got here? Oh yeah, Jim. Yeah, I'm trying to work out what bit that is. I did have it on it. Like, it is vicious. You don't want to mess with it. So you can sort of see on here, I've had it for quite a while. It seems to not dull too much, even though it doesn't look really sharp. It sort of has, I think it's carbide tungsten sort of like filings on the edge. And there's a few of them you can get. Now it is expensive, this one. So just be aware of that. All Dremel bits are kind of more expensive than other bits. They tend to be, but I find with the Dremel bits, some of them are like, you're not going to find this sort of anywhere else. And what I tend to do is I only use my Dremel bits for certain aspects. So I've got this one here as well. These are quite expensive. These are carbide tungsten ones. And so I won't use this for sort of like taking down the wood, but I will use it for putting in sort of like details, sort of like straight lines and all of that. So I won't use it sort of like to really get cut into the wood. I tend to use something like this, or, you know, the Kutzall flame burr. You got to be careful with these because you can sort of see that they are this easy lock, it does go like this. And I've heard some people, I've never had it happen to me, but I've heard some people when they're carving with it, they must sort of like pull it really hard, and because it's on an angle like that, it's gonna really, it could come off, if you get what I mean. And I've never had it happen to me, but I guess it depends how aggressive you are with it. You could sort of see me, I was being it looked like I was being really aggressive, but I was tending to go straight down into the hat itself. Oh, hey, Laurie, I really appreciate that as well. That's awesome. Yeah, hey, thank you very much. Made my day, you two. Awesome. So that's pretty much it for today. Oh, hey, I was going to tell you too, I did go on that helicopter course on the weekend, and it was awesome. So for those who don't know, I have become a volunteer fireman. So I'm doing all of these courses, getting ready for the fire season. And on the weekend, we went out and learned how to load the monsoon buckets while the helicopter is flying above you, which is very exciting. And also, g'day Woodsyke. And also we got to have a fly in the helicopter. We were practicing getting in and out while they were kind of hovering on sort of like a ledge. Lionheart, Matt, how can I watch this video from the first step? Because I am doing that with knives. I'm a beginner, and that is perfect what you're doing. I hope to watch and learn from you more. Teach us. Yeah, I'm trying to teach you. Yeah, all of my carvings are sort of like, I try and teach something in them anyway. So I did do a wood spirit sort of series a little while ago where I took you from sort of each sort of aspect. So probably the best thing to do is you go into my channel and then you click on videos and look down there, and it will have all the different videos. I think the last ones in the last 4 months, I do a lot of wood spirits. But you just, I think these lives take quite a while to upload completely. So I find when I try and watch somebody else's live quite soon after they've finished it, it'll give you that wheel. So you've got to kind of leave it about 24 hours and the live chat pops up as well. That's what I find with lives anyway. So now I could come back on another day this week and we can finish off this wood spirit. Does that sound like a good idea? I don't know. What are people thinking? And for anybody, if you're wanting for me to cover something specific, just leave me a comment in the comments. But I think that's it. And hey, check out Woodsyke's channel as well. He's got a channel and he does wood spirits as well. And he does them, you know, everyone has their different styles. Woodsyke has got a style all to his own. I quite like. He's carving a lot of the pine knots. I should say nuts, pine knots. And I've never carved one, but I believe they're quite difficult to carve. They're quite resinous, but they look beautiful. And we're all going to develop our own kind of styles when we carve. Yeah. Okay, Jim, I'll see how I go this week. I might come back tomorrow. I'm not sure. And we'll check all the rest of it. Yeah, like I said, I think, you know, looking at this, I think it's too wide in the face. If I was like picking things, but that's okay because we can skinny it down, and so the hat's gonna come up there. So that should look good. Yeah, I'm going to try and come back sometime this week. I can't sort of like guarantee what time because I sort of like have to fit these kind of things around everything else. Yeah, so check that out. Right, okay, I'm going to say goodbye. Hey, and thank you for all those, what are they called? Super chats that people gave me. That is awesome. Laurie Brooks and John, and thank you for that, and take it easy, and hope everyone has a great day. Okay, bye everybody.